Hello everybody and welcome back to the Just Jen Crazy channel. It's just Jen, but seriously, if you've been watching me, you know, you already know. Anyway, I'm going to do a fertility / women's health type video today. See, I've already touched my face. I put makeup on. Yes, I look like I'm getting ready to run off with Cirque du Soleil. I've been watching way too many Jeffree Star videos, so never will you see me doing a tutorial on makeup. Just saying. Anyway, today I'm going to talk to you about soft cups, Diva cups, menstrual cups. They have many different brands, many different names. Some are reusable, some are disposable. But for fertility, once you get the man goo in there, a lot of people use them to hold it there so you don't get TMI video, sorry, drippage. It's basically to give the swimmers a better chance to stay up near the cervix, and that way they have a longer time to make it through there. So basically that's the point of it. I looked everywhere and I'm sorry. I looked everywhere and I can't find the actual box for the soft cups that I bought. I got them at CVS Pharmacy. Of course, I'm here in the States, so there's a lot of places that sell them. You just have to check it out. You can buy them online, actually. I haven't seen them at Walmart. I'm not saying they don't have them at Walmart, but you may just have to order them online from Walmart or special order them because they do that in-store shipping order thing. Anyway, so basically, they usually come in a box of about 12 to 14. If you're buying the box that I'm talking about, I think it was around between $16 to $18. Sounds like a lot, but you're talking about something that's gonna be able to be used, they say, for up to 12 hours on some of them, to catch all your flow. So you don't have to keep running to the bathroom, changing stuff. I personally would think it depends on how heavy your flow is. Mine tends to be light on the first day, heavy on the second day, kind of heavy to medium on the third day, then medium, and then spotting. I will say I did try to use them one cycle, just to see what it was like. They did help, you know, it held, and I definitely am a lazy bitch, so I didn't make it. Like I say, I'm lazy, but I just was busy while I was at the market, so I couldn't make it to the restroom because you're at a booth and they got porta potties like a mile away, so they worked for me. And I definitely had it in every bit of probably 8 to 10 hours. The ones that I use are in a box that's purple. I will insert the photo. I'll try to insert it here. I'm using a new editing program, so hopefully it'll let me insert it right here. Give me a sec. I truly wish this camera had like a blinking red light on the front to at least let you know when it's on. As I've already explained in another video, this is the one that you can use Bluetooth or Wi-Fi to remotely check and look at whatever's in front of the camera, even if you leave it in another room. Yeah, so that means the other person doesn't even see a blinky letting them know, hey, that camera's on. Okay, moving on. Anyway, once you open the box, they basically have packages like so. Just a little envelope type package. This is the last one I have, so I'm not going to actually open that one. I have one that's already opened, so when you pull them out, they look like this. They're basically a flat disc. All you have to do is, much like a condom, make sure you're using it in the right direction. You can see that the plastic goes down on this side. You can put it up the other way, but now you have the ring kind of taking up some of your space. So it's easy enough to see when you get it, but basically that is as big as they are. So this is why I said I think it would depend on a woman's flow, because I know some chicks that probably bleed heavily enough that might get filled up well before 12 hours. So I'm saying 8 to 10 to 12, depending on which brand you're getting. You may want to go with the other one. I believe the Diva cup. These are just called soft cups. I believe the Diva cup says that you can leave it in for up to 12 hours. It's made of like this rubbery material, and it's much deeper than this. It's like a cone. It didn't at all look interesting and comfortable to me. I believe it has a pull string on the end of it so you can easily get it out. Because with these, once you insert them like so, up into the hoo-ha, you're going to have to actually stick your finger up in there and hook your finger on the edge to pull it out. And yeah, practice makes perfect. I'm just going to say that. I will also say that I got nothing going on down there, but just a woman's bodily fluid stuff. It's a little bit of a smell. I got a sensitive nose. Y'all might not notice it, but I'm like, yeah, it's a little funky. So probably no more than if you were to use a sanitary pad or a tampon and actually stick it up to your nose, which I don't recommend. Just saying. Anyway, so basically, these are to be used for to be used for fertility. Whether you're doing a home InSem or an artificial insemination, using donor sperm, using the real man goo, your man's going to have to actually, well, it depends on your case. If he doesn't finish inside, know what I mean? You're going to have to scoop it up and then put it in here. And then it is recommended that you use a lubricant that is conception friendly, which is like this. Pre-Seed. There are a couple other brands, but Pre-Seed, it's pretty watery. I don't have much left in this tube, but it's pretty watery, but you generally put a few drops, or maybe, I don't even know how to describe it, 3, 4, 5, 6 drops in there. Just to help the swimmers have more of an easy medium to get through the cervix. So basically that's what this is for. So the man goo goes in, drops of Pre-Seed, goop, squeeze it in there like you're brushing your teeth, just that much, you know. Okay, because the more liquid you have, the more likely you're going to have stuff leak when you go to insert it. Inserting takes some practice. They show you on the box how to insert them. I will say, to me, I've had to develop my own method. They tell you to like kind of put the one foot up on the toilet kind of thing, and you pinch the sides together like so. See how it's pinched? And then you basically just slide it up in there. But all of this is going to have some liquid in there. So my personal preference would be woosah, relax, don't have it all tense down there, and just pinch it as much as you can, especially in the front part. And while you're inserting it, keep this side against the front wall, because if you're laying on your back, the front wall of your hoo-ha, your vajay, whatever you want to call it, the honey pocket, the hot pocket, whatever your name is, you're going to want to try to keep sliding it in with this, staying as much against the top wall as you can, because that will keep it from just all pouring out. If you just get all crazy with it, stuff's just going to start leaking out everywhere. So, especially in fertility, you don't want to be losing any of the man goo if you can help it. So you're going to keep it pinched as tight as you can, and yes, you can do it with one hand. If your partner will help you, that's even better, but keep it as tight as you can and try to keep this sliding right up against the roof. You know what I mean? The roof is on fire. Okay, no, not that roof. The roof of your innards there, down there, the girl parts. And you'll get it to a point, and then just go quickly in at the very end. And the only thing I would say is you're gonna, once it's in like you would put in a tampon, for those of you who've done it, you're gonna have to actually, it'll tilt a little because that's just the way the anatomy is in there. Just make sure that you push. Somebody's gonna have to put a finger in there. Push along the edge all the way around and make sure that it feels to you like it is all the way seated against your cervix. Now, a lot of women are like, oh my God, I can't do that. First of all, your vajay is only like that long. Take it for somebody in the medical field who's worked in labor and delivery and every other part of the field. All right, it's only that far. You can get your finger all the way up there. Okay, secondly, once this is in, it's naturally going to pop itself kind of open like so. It doesn't feel uncomfortable. You don't even feel it. It's no different than a tampon. If you have a tampon up past the muscles where it should be, you don't feel them anymore. Just saying. A lot of people don't use tampons because they're like, oh no, I'm going to walk around feeling that all day. No, that just means that you have two muscles at the bottom of your vajay, and then you have the channel, and then you get your cervix. You got to get up past those two muscles. If you didn't get past those two muscles, yeah, you're still going to feel it there. This has to go all the way up and in. Go on Dr. Google and look at the female anatomy, and you will see where the cervix is. Basically, the woman has a channel with a tunnel. The tunnel ends, it has an end. And there is a tiny little hole that's microscopic enough for these little critters to go through. Okay, people think the vajay goes, oh my God, it's going to go all the way to my stomach. No, you need to study your anatomy. Probably shouldn't be having kids yet if you don't know your own anatomy. Just saying. No offense, but no. The vajay is about 4 to 5 inches long, typically about 4, and at the very end is the cervix. It's like having a tunnel that has a dead end stop, like a checkpoint. Hey, guard, I'm a guard tower. You can't get through here unless you have certain requirements. So basically, man goo in. I highly recommend using a friendly lubricant, which they have them. Conceive, I believe, is another brand. Pre-Seed is the one I'm showing you. They're used to help when you don't have good cervical mucus, because sometimes cervical mucus is too thick and it's very hard for the sperm to swim through. There's things you can change in your diet to make your cervical mucus better. But Pre-Seed is one of those things that will help them get through that little canal, because the cervix is not just like a hole and they can go, boom, we're in. No, it's like a freaking guardian at the gate. Like, yeah, they're going to try to keep as many of them out as possible, and only the strongest ones are going to come through. That's how nature is made. You should only have the strongest ones come through, because that's supposedly going to be the best ones. This Fertility, I believe, may have one. Pre-Seed, Conceive. There's a lot of them out there. You just have to do your research. But anyway, once you've had your man goo in here, whether you had to scoop it up, put it in, squirt some of the Pre-Seed, pinch, lay your behind down somewhere, I recommend. Slide it up and make sure this stays against the front wall of your body. That's your belly. The front wall of your girl part. And then when you can get it, just go slow. And when you can get it in, just make sure that when you feel like it's all the way in the channel, you're going to have to push against the rim to tilt it so that it's going to pop open like so. Everything that was in here will be held right up against your cervix. That means that the little swimmers aren't just going to all fall right back out onto the bed sheets. You hear me? Sorry, dog hair. Basically, that gives them a much better chance of having time and a lot less distance to get up through your cervical canal. And these can be kept in. For fertility, it is recommended that you keep these in for about 12 hours. And generally, that's what I've done. I will tell you, when you take them out, you may not see much. You may see a little bit of females naturally have a self-cleaning system of cervical mucus that comes. So, yeah, you may see a little fluid in here. You may see something creamy. If it's creamy, it probably means your cervical mucus wasn't that great. You may see some spotting in there, a little bit of blood. It's not a big deal. The point is, you're giving the swimmers a better chance to get up through there by being close, and not just you stand up right after you had sex and everything comes right out on your leg, because that's how life is. Okay, so anyway, now that I've gotten past all the gross stuff, I'll go into more gross stuff. For those of you that want to try these as a menstrual cup, oh, and I would say this, I chose to use the soft cups instead of the Diva cup because the Diva cup is actually deeper. It's meant specifically as a menstrual cup, and it's a more rigid plastic. It's harder. It actually, to me, I felt like it was going to be this much longer than the sperm don't have as much, they got more distance to try to go to get up. This is pretty much shallow. It's not deep at all. It's very soft, this material, but I'll tell you this, it's durable. This one right here, they're disposable. These are the soft cups. I've reused these suckers because for fertility, I reuse them, put them in for 12 hours, take that out, rinse the sucker out, and then I store it. And just make sure that I clean it really well. I can put, I wouldn't recommend using any detergents or anything like that. You can generally just use a very mild soap and water. Just make sure you rinse the hell out of it. Put it somewhere in a container where it's not going to get dusty and dirty and everything else. And make sure it's dry before you do all that. So maybe flip it upside down on a clean spot that you have like a paper towel down there. Leave it there till you see that there's no water droplets, and put it in a safe container that is yours to keep. And for those of you going, you can't do that, y'all need to research the old diaphragm birth control. Okay, that's what they were about back in the 60s, 70s, and all that. You got a little plastic case that you carried around in your purse, and you popped something just like this out, and you stuck it up in there before you did anything. Now, I'm not sure that these can be used for birth control in the same way as a diaphragm, so do not quote me on that, because this is a thin enough plastic, especially for those of you who have gentlemen that have piercings in some very interesting areas. I wouldn't trust that. It's not on the box recommended for that. It's not even on the box recommended for the fertility part. It is meant to be a menstrual cup to just simply put it in. You go to work and you don't have to worry about running to the bathroom every time between phone calls so that you can actually change whatever you're using. That's what it's meant for. So anyway, these are the disposable ones. You're meant to take these out, chuck it, put the next new one in, which would be in the next package like so when you're on your period. For fertility, I've been able to reuse this one several times. I have another one up there as well. And I have this one last one, and I'm having a Seinfeld moment where it's like, you gotta be soft cup worthy. Not just, Elaine had sponge worthy. Today's sponge, it used to be an old birth control. They kind of stopped selling it. They might be selling it now, I don't know. I loved it, but whatever. Moving on, same topic. Okay, so basically that is the explanation of using a soft cup for fertility or for your menstrual cycle. Other things I would say is, yeah, when you pull it out especially after using it for fertility or even the menstrual cycle, I only did it once because to me, it worked, but I found it to be kind of just gross. I don't want to be wedging my finger all up in there when, all the witches flowing and all that. Not that it's any more better when you're wedging your finger up in there and you got man goo coming all, a little different. But anyway, to me, I just didn't appreciate it. I would much rather just use tampons. But for those of you who want something that's not a tampon and you hate pads, there's your go-to right there. So again, the Diva cup is built different. The Diva cup is a reusable one. It is made of the same kind of silicone-ish material as this, so it's flexible. You do the same thing. You pinch it. I don't have one to show you, sorry. You pinch it, you put it up in there the same exact way, but I believe the Diva cup has a string. So you don't have to put your finger in and loop it to pull it back out. You just have to pull the string, and I highly recommend you're over a toilet when you do any of these things. So, that's about all I got for you today's video as far as using a soft cup, Diva cup, any kind of cup as far as that for either menstrual cycles or fertility. That is the benefit of it for those of you who've asked me what's the point of using a soft cup. It's basically just to give the swimmers a chance that they all stay there, you don't lose anything. Hopefully you might lose some when you're putting it in, but it's a learning process, it's not hard. And Basically, it just gives them a lot longer of a chance to stay up in there, and because if you're not using anything, you ladies know, TMI moment again, if you had a good moment with your man, it's going to be trickling and trickling for a while through the day, which is highly annoying. So anyway, that's it for today's really gross TMI video, hopefully informative in some way as far as using a soft cup or a Diva cup. And don't forget to like and subscribe and click that notification bell so you know when the next video of crazy is coming from me. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.